I want to build the Need for Speed M3 GTR is something I first probably said when I looked like this. Pretty much every car I've bought has been inspired by movies that I enjoy, games I've played in the past, or my clear, obvious lust for problems.
Always!
But this is something I'd have to put time into. This would be my big build. One day. Unfortunately for me, that day has arrived.
Sit down!
In fact, it happened when a Russian man that I had no idea how I found basically made the best and most accurate body kit for the car I'd ever seen. And then I paid for it. And then a war happened, so I had to get sent another package because the other one probably got... Anyway, balls to it! I bought another BMW. Bit of an update for you. As you can see at the side of the road, once again, in Marangia. This is a common thing, apparently. Common for me, at least, because I've done this 4 times today. I think it's time for a new truck. I'm looking at trucks tonight. Just so you're aware, this is supposed to tow 3.5 tons, which this is not. We do not get F-150s in the UK, okay? It's just not a thing. To the floor. As you can see.
We'll do it. 25 in the dual carriageway.
This is great.
Yeah, we need to get off this road.
So here we are, I've bought an E46. It's not an M3, however, this one I may be able to call an M3 at some point, eventually. It'll be better than an actual M3. We are building the M3 GTR from Need for Speed. Sit down! So I thought it would be fun to really list how much I paid for things on this, and we paid £2,650 for this car. It was a bit of an adventure, wasn't it? Yes. So I've had the Ranger for like, what, a few months now? I think it might just be a clutch fan. I hope so. A couple of weird things about this car. As you can see, the front bumper, I don't think I've ever seen this front bumper before. No idea what it is. That's not standard. That's not any nice aftermarket. It's horrible, quite honestly. I don't know, it's supposed to be like rally inspired, I guess.
I have no idea what it is.
The rest of the car is as you would expect. There's a bit of a different wing on it. And then the rear bumper, I don't know if it's better or worse.
That's worse than the rear, than the front.
Yeah, that's definitely worse. That's properly like underground too. On the interior, honestly, it actually really reminds me of the 36. It's not too far different between the two. And surprisingly, the seat adjusts really well, and I actually fit. I actually fit in that one. So maybe the big cars actually meant more space back in the day. They don't anymore. Anyway, so the big plan, I already have the body kit. I've actually been sitting on the body kit for, well, the complete body kit for probably about 2 months now. So it's been sat waiting for me to purchase a car. In fact, the body kit was about the same price as the car, thinking about it. I blame shipping. Obviously, I want you guys to help me with this because we're kind of still back and forth on the idea of how original we want to go with it. The exterior pretty much is going to go as it should be, but there's things like the interior that we're kind of deciding on.
Put it to a vote.
Put a vote, okay.
Vote into the comments.
It would be pretty cool to obviously get it as accurate as possible, and that's kind of one idea, but at the same time update it, make it modern, make it actually kind of usable. For example, I don't like the idea of fully stripping out the bottom because I've never seen it done right in person, except in an actual race car. This is not going to be an actual race car.
Oh god, this is high.
So that one is much, you're sitting taller than me, like.
I feel like you're in E36 now.
For example, when it comes to the engine, the actual engine note of the car is actually not from a BMW engine. It's from the
That's from TVR, isn't it?
TVR. It's from the TVR, which I don't want to do that.
No, if you're going to put an engine in it, it has to be from the family.
Exactly, so that's why we're thinking BMW V8. It makes sense. We want to go full out and have the V8. It doesn't make sense to do it if we want to try and get it somewhat accurate. It needs a V8, and honestly, I'm a V8 person. As much as I love the Skylines and the Supras, I like V8s.
You can't beat V8.
You can't beat V8.
Or Lexus LFA V10.
I like big engines. I'm going to keep the red seats, well, put the red seats and try and find them, and if not, make it happen. We're going to do things like that to try and make it accurate. But for example, I found a brand new kind of updated speedo cluster and things like that, and modernized.
That looks pretty smart.
I think that'll look cooler.
Yeah,
I think that'll be
definitely.
cooler. Things like that. that we can update. For example, you want to put like a stream deck in it instead of like switches.
Yes.
I think we can do things like that to make it kind of more modern, cooler.
And the current GT3 BMW uses the Fanatec steering wheel that you can actually use on the sim. You can take it off your sim and then put it in your race car.
So obviously the idea is to really strip this thing out. That's the first step, kind of take off the bits that we're not going to use. And if you want that front bumper, you're very welcome to it. It's absolutely disgusting, but please pay me for it. Or buy the merch.
Buy merch. I wondered what that just did. When he was on the phone, I noticed like...
Yeah, there's 4 buttons.
It's a 2-door.
Yeah.
But there's 4 window switches, so when you do this...
That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and also the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That's really cool. I remember my grandma and granddad had a Ford Ka.
Yeah.
And it had the manual version of that.
Oh yeah, like you push them out.
Yeah, and it used to like always take your fingers off every time you did it, because it was like on a preload.
That is so freaking cool. Of course, the question is going to come to a few of you. Why did we not go for an actual M3? So I did obviously think about that, but the quite honest truth is that those things cost, what, 30k now for a good one? And I didn't want to ruin a nice, good M3. The M3 itself is a really interesting, cool car. This has been off the road for about 5 years. It's not perfect. It would have probably been drifted into a wall. So if anything, we're saving this car, and by putting the V8 in it and putting updates to suspension and things like that, I think it would be a really cool project and turn out, in my opinion, better than the actual M3. And we didn't ruin an M3 to do it. So you're welcome. We're thinking. Also, it's cheap. Honestly, it's 2.5 grand. Like, come on, I'm not spending 30 grand on the car just to not use half of the car. You enjoying that?
Why did we do this when we were waiting for a recovery truck yesterday?
We could have done that. I don't know.
3 hours!
3 hours. And shout out to the RAC person that had a go at me because I mentioned that I have a trailer and he didn't mention that. Cheers, mate. This is like going back to another era. Why? They just really wanted to be different, didn't they? Yeah. You could probably drive around like that and like blind people with their own lights or something.
That's active aero.
Guys, you have no idea how excited I am for this project. I'm so ready to just throw the kit on, get it painted, get ready with it. So if you want to buy my Evo again, remember, please do contact me. Update on the Eclipse, obviously we need space in here, so this is going goodbye. Also, the Eclipse is booked in, ready to go. Shout out to you guys that actually paid for some of the merch, bought some of the merch. Honestly, it's helping me kind of organize and kind of place funds to things like this. I'm very excited. A lot of you guys really love the orange wheels. Like, they've become kind of iconic with the car. So I think the orange wheels are gonna stay nonetheless. I'm not sure on the exterior color. It might go white, it might go something. However, the black, I don't have a black car. Maybe it'll stay black. I don't know. Like a nice black paint job that's gonna be horrible to look after, but I think it would be worth it in the end. All these projects at the same time, but for something like that, that's just completely out of my scope. At least at this stage. There's obviously bits that we're gonna do later on. And then I've got things that I wanna do to the stage here, and hopefully the Skyline gets much needed love, because there's one big job I've been waiting to do on that car, and I think it finally deserves it to make it the ultimate R34. I don't think anyone would try to play games with. Maybe they'll stay away from me and not follow me so closely. This is such a dream of mine, is to have an M3 GTR from Need for Speed. We're gonna have the V8. Obviously that's big kind of future plans. This is gonna be a kind of big long haul project at the same time. But obviously right now we can get to the kit, to the paint, get it looking like the M3 GTR, and that is my big one, having it and being able to share it with you guys as we wait for the next Need for Speed game to come out. One thing I have to say I hate about both this and the 36 is the accelerator pedal. It's so heavy. This one's not as bad. This one's quite a bit lighter than the 36, but it's still quite heavy. And I am not actually sure if I've seen both of these two together, and I've got to be real, from the look as they are now, ignoring this kind of aftermarket bumper as well, I think this looks nicer. How about you? What do you think?
I think that one looks nicer.
I think so too.
Yeah,
even like
better.
with standard bumpers, I just like the more boxy.
That one's nicer, I
it's
think.
so much smaller as well.
Yeah.
I know it's lowered, but it's been a little while, to say the least. The keen-eyed of you may be able to spot something. However, a lot of this has taken longer than anticipated. I say that I kind of went in knowing it's going to take a while, and I wanted to get a little bit ahead. So, car is a little bit further along than you're going to see in these videos. It's kind of where I want to be. Because when it goes off to paint, it's going to obviously take a little bit of time. Hopefully not, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this first video, and of course, there's a whole lot more to come, and it's moving a bit quicker than I thought it would. See, normally I do these builds, and it like takes me so long, and I just have them sat and don't really do anything, but this one I'm determined to get the car at least looking right as quick as possible. But at the same time, I want to make sure it's done properly, so it's a bit of a balance, but I'm just diving in head first with this one. So anyway, please do let me know any suggestions. Things like, should we go 2015 or should we go for Need for Speed Heat? Kind of already leaning one way, just because it's a little bit more, that'll give it away if I said that. Anyway, I will see you next time. Please do smash the like, give us the support. And of course, if you want to support us further, you can join as a member down below. We are working on merch, but I kind of need the car to be in a certain way before it's sketched, if that makes sense. Anyway, smash like, subscribe, and thank you guys.